So, welcome everybody. I hope you are able to hear me, and welcome to our webinar. So the very first thing we're going to do is say thank you to all of you. Thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedules to spend with all of our junior teams. Thank you for bringing your expertise with you. Whether you are new to this event or you've been doing it for a long time, we appreciate anything and everything you do for us as a judge. A big one from me. Thank you for showing up for the teams and showing them that people are interested in what the teams have done. Remember, a lot of these teams have been working on their robots since January, and they are very proud of them. So please show some respect to all of the teams and just commend them on the amazing work that they have done. And a big one, thank you for sharing the day with us as WRO South Africa, but also with your fellow judges. So I have some interesting stats for you. We have a total of 178 judges within the RoboMission category alone in South Africa, 69 elementary, 85 junior, and 45 senior judges. So junior is the largest age group in the world. It is the one with the most teams, and it is the one that is going to be the most competitive. As an interesting fact, we have over 900 teams registered this year across WRO South Africa, and that, I have to say, a big, massive thank you to all of you as coaches, as school representatives, parents, guardians, whoever you are. Thank you, and without your support, we would not have reached these incredible numbers that we have this year in 2025. So to cover some responsibilities that you will be doing during the judging experience. So the first thing, we have a judging hierarchy. We have what we call our table judges. These are the most important people, and this is the majority of judges that we have on the day. You would be assigned a table, and you will work with your partner on the day. We then have age group head judges. These are people with a lot of experience. Some of them have many years of international WRO experience. So don't be afraid to ask your head judges for assistance at any point in the competition. They are there to assist you and make sure that the teams are judged fairly and that the teams enjoy the day. We then have the category head judges, and they are the guys that are responsible for most of the admin on the day, for the very, very difficult decisions, and will be assisting the head judges as well as table judges. So if you see a category head judge walking around, you are more than welcome to ask them to assist you. So some responsibilities for judges. You are responsible for managing a bunch of different things. The first thing is you will manage the teams that you have been assigned. Each of you will be assigned a maximum of 6 teams on your competition table, and it is your role as well as your partner's role to look after these teams on your table. You'll be assisting them through their practice runs, making sure teams are given equal amounts of time on the table, as well as giving them their actual scores and running in their scoring runs. You are then going to be assisting your other judges, so not only the judge you've been paired with, but the judges around you. We are one big family, so please make sure you assist each other when you see someone needs help. Feel free to step in. It's always welcome at these events. You will also be asked to assist the head judges. Messages will be passed around. There may be rule changes. There may be different clarifications that need to happen. The head judges will assist and give you all of the information that they can for your day. We then will assist teams if issues occur. Now, these issues are very specific. We do not assist the teams with everything. There are only certain things that we'll be able to assist them with. When I talk about assisting teams with issues here, it's things like the power being out on their row, not able to find their seat. Perhaps they have spilt something on the floor. Maybe a team member is feeling sick. These will be the things that we will help our teams with when we are there at the event. You are then going to enforce the general rules as well as the game rules. So the general rules, these are the rules that govern how the competition should work and what the robot should look like. The game rules, these are for your specific age group. So the junior game rules are all available online. And if you haven't yet, check out the judges links that you were sent in your invitation. Inside, you'll find an awesome Google Drive, and there is a really cool sort of semi-podcast generated by AI, which helps to explain the rules for the day. You will then enforce any scoring criteria. So randomizations need to happen on the day, and these will be done by head judges, and you need to enforce that the same randomization happens and teams stick to the actual scoring criteria. We enforce the code of ethics as well as any of the head judge's decisions. There are quite a few decisions that happen on the day, and if a head judge has made a decision, even if you disagree with it, please enforce it. We make these decisions for a reason. Then a big one for me, please celebrate. Celebrate with the teams, with the judges, with spectators. Enjoy the day and make it an absolute celebration for all of the teams. We then want to celebrate any of the successes and help teams through their failures. If you see a team doing well, maybe it's a team that all of a sudden got a good score, celebrate with them. Enjoy the event. We want to celebrate all of these incredible designs that you're going to see on the day, as well as these absolutely amazing solutions that teams have come up with. There are going to be robots which were created a week before the competition, and there are going to be robots that were started last year already. So be ready. You don't know what you're going to see, but celebrate every robot design, because remember, the teams are very proud of their robots. Then a big one, celebrate this wonderful world of robotics and coding. You are here because you are part of this world. If you're not part of this world, welcome. We hope you enjoy it, and I know we will see you again. I hope you enjoy everything that we do at these events. So some more responsibilities. Judges, we are responsible for clarifying any rules. So some teams, because of the number, because of teams misreading rules or misunderstanding, we need to clarify different things for the team. So some teams may have misinterpreted some rules. If you see something that the team has misinterpreted, please address it by informing them of the actual rule. Again, you'll assist your fellow judges. This is a big one. Remember, we are a happy family and we must assist each other where and when we can. We're all responsible, head judges, category head judges, and all of our table judges, for escorting teams to the bathroom. And the reason for this is because, one, we don't want them to come into contact with their coaches who may be trying to give them flash drives. They may be trying to give them advice that is not allowed within the rules, and we don't want to see those teams disqualified. So we escort them to the bathrooms when needed. We also want to make sure that they are safe. Some team members may be feeling quite unhappy and nervous and want to escape to the bathroom, lock themselves in, and not want to come out. So please check on them if they've been in the bathroom for more than 5 minutes. We don't want to lose any of our team members anywhere in the building. Then you'll be responsible for setting up the table elements. Now, this will be during the scoring runs as well as in practice. So please keep track of where all of the table elements are. For randomizations, please make sure you're placing them in the same place. If there are elements that teams start with on their robots, please make sure that these stay on your actual table so the next team can use them and that the elements are not damaged. If you notice an element that has been built funny or is incorrect, please inform the head judges and they will assist in rectifying the issue. Then you are responsible for scoring and timing all of your teams at your tables. Some teams will be quicker than others. Some teams might be very, very slow. You don't know what you're going to have, but treat each team in the same way, score them in the same way, and make sure we have our timing correct. Then just some do's and don'ts as far as judging for RoboMission. A number one rule, if you've been doing this for a long time, you know my number one rule by now, I hope. Never, ever touch a team's robot without their permission. This is very important because if you do touch it and the robot then doesn't work, no matter what and how you touched it, you will be blamed by the team and their coaches for their robot not scoring. So please never touch a team's robot without their permission. If you need a robot to be moved in quarantine, perhaps there's not enough space on the quarantine table, call the teams to the table and let them handle their own robots. We do not touch a robot at all. We don't touch a team's programming device. Never touch a team's programming device, again, without permission, because you could touch it and the next thing it starts a Windows update and you will be blamed for the Windows update. So please make sure you do not touch teams' robots or their programming devices without permission. There are cases where we will be allowed. Then, do not assist any team with building instructions, building advice, with route planning, telling them where the robot needs to go, with programming of any kind, and with communication to their team or to their coaches, spectators, and other teams in the venue. They are not allowed to communicate with anyone outside of the competition area. The reason for this, again, is to protect ourselves. If you give a team some advice on the robot build and it doesn't work, you will be blamed and that team will not like you. So please do not assist a team with anything, even if you know the solution on the day. There are some exceptions to the rules. Then we make sure that we are not disrespecting, teasing, or making fun of any robot designs. Teams take it very personally when a judge comments on their robot. Please think about what you are saying before you actually say it. You may have an impact on the team on the day, and because of something you said, the team may not want to do robotics anymore. Please do not show any bias or favor towards any teams. Even if they're your favorite team on the table, all teams should be judged fairly, equally, and in the same way. Then please never threaten a team with disqualification. Don't tell a team you'll be disqualified. It throws them completely, gives them a lot of worry, especially for our elementary teams. They see you almost as father or mother figures, and by you telling them they'll be disqualified, they panic and it throws off their entire day. So please make sure that you are not threatening teams with disqualification. The only people that should be mentioning the word disqualification are your head judges. So that if you think a team is in line for disqualification or penalization, let the head judge know and they will make that decision. Please don't leave your competition table unattended. Some teams are very respectful and they will wait for you to call them to the table. If you are not there, they are going to just stand and wait for you to get there, which means you are wasting their time. So please make sure that there is at least one judge on the table at all times. You are more than welcome to leave the venue and go and grab a cup of coffee, go get something to eat, something to drink during the practice rounds, but please make sure you communicate with your fellow judge and that one of you is on the table at all times. This includes if you are going to look at the team's building area. One judge should always be standing at the competition table. The other judge is welcome to roam around the team's building area. Please make sure there's always one judge standing where all of the elements are. A big one, as a table judge, please do not communicate with coaches or spectators unless it is absolutely necessary. Any questions should be addressed to the head judges as they will be able to answer those questions. And please, communication, keep it short. You are welcome to say hello to somebody that you know, but please do not answer any questions about how teams are doing, what they're doing, where their scores are. If they want to clarify rules, it should happen through the head judges. Why? Because you are there for the teams. You are not there for the coaches or the spectators. Your role is to look after the teams on the day and give them your full attention. There are some exceptions to the rules we've just spoken about. So a team who's experiencing a hardware or software issue that is not of their own design or their fault, we can assist them. Sometimes motors seize, sometimes computers crash and programs are lost. In those cases, we contact the head judges and they will attempt to assist those teams in those cases. You will often find that a team arrives at a competition table and the program is not on the robot. The rules are very clear that if a robot arrives at the table and there is no program, the team is not allowed to re-upload the program to the robot. However, Judges may try to assist the teams to recover the program that is on the robot. There are some tricks with EV3 as well as Spike to try and find the last program that was run. These the head judges will know, so please contact the head judges and they will be able to assist the teams. This is primarily for the scoring rounds. Always remember to ask permission if you would like to touch a team's robot or programming device. There are some teams that will require medication or something on the day. Maybe they are having a low blood sugar level and they need something to eat or to drink, in which case you will be flagged down by a spectator waving some kind of bag. For some reason, it's normally a McDonald's bag. I'm not quite sure why, but you will be flagged down to give it to a team member. Please first check the bag, then make sure that the team member receives that. We do not want children to pass out or have a medical emergency during this event. Remember, the event is for them, and we want to make sure that they are comfortable and looked after. There will be teams that are emotionally devastated, normally our younger teams, junior to elementary. And in these cases, we cannot often console them, in which case we will call the head judge and they will find the team coach or the parents, and they will assist in giving the teams a bit of a pep talk, trying to tell them that everything is okay until the teams calm down and they resume with the competition. A big one for me, if you have seen any of my presentations, you should know this one. Please don't block the view of spectators. I have this wonderful example over here. This is from 2019, our South African team. They're in Hungary on the senior table. They are competing quite well, and the great-grandmother has flown all the way to see them. And what happens is we have a judge go and stand right in the front of the table, and they cannot see the team, their grandchildren that they've been wanting to see for years compete in this event. So please be aware of where you are standing. Always stand to the sides or the front of the table where the start area is. Do not stand and block the view of the spectators. The only time a judge should be allowed to block the view for spectators is if you are scoring a team and need to look at an element on the other side of the table. If you see judges standing and blocking the view, please remind them just to stand to the sides. It is quite important because we want the spectators and coaches to see how their teams are doing. So what criteria makes a good judge? Judges should be friendly. Remember, this is a competition for children, so please be friendly. Let the kids enjoy themselves at this event. You should be observant, watching what the teams are doing and what the spectators and coaches are doing. If you see anything that you feel is against the rules, perhaps spectators or coaches are doing funny hand signals or trying to communicate with teams, please let the head judges know, and the head judges will watch it and then address it. Also, by letting the head judges know that you have spotted something, another judge may have spotted it already, and this could be the second violation or third or fourth that the team has, in which case their head judges will take severe action. You should be attentive to all of your team needs on the table. So the teams that you have been assigned, you should be looking after them. If there is a team that hasn't been to the table in 10 minutes, please go and check on them. Make sure that one, they're still in the venue, and two, that nothing is wrong. A lot of teams don't know that judges may assist them if there is a hardware or a software issue. So please make sure that your teams are coming to the tables regularly to practice. If a team says, we're fine, we don't need to practice, we're ready with our robot and it's sitting in quarantine, that team knows what they're doing, leave them alone, and they can just enjoy the event how they want to do it. You should be of high integrity. If you make a mistake somewhere or notice something, please speak up. Let the head judges know. With this as well, please, if you are a coach and you have teams of your own in your own venue, do not speak to them. You do not want a coach to target you and say that that's the coach of this team and they're giving them advice, and your teams will be disqualified. So please tell your teams to stay away from you. They're not allowed to talk to you, and you as well. Don't talk to your own teams. Leave them alone. They've done all the work and they can get through it without you. You should understand the rules. Please don't only read the rules, but understand them. Know where things should be, what the scores should be, and how it should all work. There are useful resources in the judges links that were sent to you through your invitation, and in there are quite a few things that help you to understand the rules. So some things to remember while judging. We as judges are there for the teams. Teams are not there for us. So please don't ask a team member to go outside and buy you a coffee or a chocolate. This competition is for them, and we are there to assist them. The team's enjoyment is my personal #1 priority, whether I am here in South Africa or the international final. I want teams to come back and always say that they love the event and want to come back again. That is my #1 priority, not only with the teams, but also with you as judges. If you are not enjoying the judging event, please let me know and I will do my best to try and make it better for you. If you are a coach of a team and you have teams in the event, again, please do not talk to them until there is the break for lunch. During the lunch break, you can put on your coach's hat and go and talk to your teams. As soon as you have that judge's bib on, you are no longer a coach, you're no longer part of a school, you are part of the judging nation, and you must show and help to respect that. Oh, I've got a duplicate. Here we go. So some other things, please don't talk to spectators or coaches. This is going to be the role of our head judges. Again, the reasons for this is we are there to assist the teams, not the coaches or the head judges. And by the way, the rules do state that judges can talk to a coach and address a coach or inform them of things if needed. It doesn't say we have to speak to coaches. So please keep that in mind. If you have somebody bothering you from the sidelines, let the head judges know and they will step in. Please watch for teams communicating with their coaches and spectators. And again, if you see this, inform your head judge, and we will be accompanying teams to the bathrooms. I have to always include this. Never, ever, ever touch a team's robot without permission. So let's take a look at the actual competition day, the event day. So we'll look at the schedules, but before we do that, let's have a look at some incredible events that we have going on. We have 4 events all running on Saturday, the 2nd of August in 3 different provinces, 1 happening on Saturday the 9th in the Western Cape. We have 3 on the 16th of August, 2 in Gauteng, 1 in the Northern Cape, and then 4 events on the 23rd of August. All of these are RoboMission events. So you may be at 1 or more of these. If you are at more events, thank you, we welcome you, and thank you for contributing your time and experience. If you have enjoyed your event and you would like to attend another, perhaps you didn't sign up for another one, it's your first one and there is another one in your region, more likely in Gauteng or in the Western Cape, you are welcome to email me after your event and let me know that you'd like to make yourself available for other events. I will then definitely include you, as we can always use more judges at our events. So taking a look at the actual RoboMission schedule, our start time is 8 o'clock. This is when registration will open. So please make sure you get there a bit earlier to register your teams and make sure your teams are signed in. They know where they will be sitting. Then attend the judges meeting. During the judges meeting, we will clarify different rules that will be happening. You'll also receive your table allocation, the teams that you will be judging at. I'm going to try and send these out a bit earlier, as well as an introduction to your head judges on the day. It's also where you will collect your judging bib, your special attire for the day, as well as have the surprise rules explained to you. You'll be given a little pack of surprise rules, 6 for your table. You will hand 1 to each team member when the prompt comes up. After our judges meeting, we have a time where teams will be coming in. They will be lost at first, so help in finding their seats and their tables. All of the rows should be labeled, and check that your power strip is on. Make sure that all the plug points are running for your teams. If you've got a power issue, let the organizers and the head judges know so that they can address it before the competition begins, and just help teams check their equipment. If you have your own teams in the venue, please assist your own teams first with finding their places, getting set up, and then head back to your table and assist the teams that are there. We then have the surprise rule announcement. This is where you will hand out one copy of the surprise rule per team, not per team member. And please only hand these out when prompted in the surprise rule video. There will be a moment where it says, judges, please hand out the surprise rules. In this instance, you will hand out one piece of paper to each team. The surprise rule, for those who are not sure, is a brand new task or challenge on the table. This is given to the teams on the day of the competition. They do not know what it is beforehand. They do not have to attempt the rule. They do not have to try and move the objects. They don't have to try and get the objects to scoring areas. However, it must stay on the game mat. They may not remove it and put it to the side if they're not doing it. It has to stay on the mat for all teams. It will be announced during the 5-minute surprise rule time. There will be a video with a presentation on how the rules work, where the elements need to go, and how many points they are after. Again, teams will receive one rule sheet for their surprise rule. The surprise rule, once it is down, stays in the same place, has to go to the same area, and will not be changed. So what does the scoring round actually look like? Well, the practice rounds and scoring rounds. So it looks like this. It starts with a wonderful practice round, 60 minutes in the first session, 40 minutes for round 2, and 40 minutes for round 3. During this time, we will manage the time that teams have to practice on our tables. Teams will line up behind a line, and we call them to the table one by one. Eventually, teams will learn the order, and you do not have to call them. There should be, during practice time, scoring time, and quarantine, no communication with any spectators or coaches outside of the competition area. Once our 60 minutes is up for our practice round, we have what we call quarantine. In this round, all robots should be on the quarantine robot before the practice timer hits 0. All robots should be on quarantine before the timer hits 0. It's at this point where we will measure and weigh the different robots. If you didn't know, the new rules state that we should weigh robots. There is a maximum allowed weight, and that is 1.5 kilograms. If you've got a Lego robot, you shouldn't need to worry about this. We measure the robots. We will use a specialized cube. It is 25 by 25 by 25 centimeters, the same size as the start area, and we will put those over the robots in quarantine to check that they meet the size requirements. If a robot doesn't, we enforce what's called the 3-minute rule, but we will get there later in the presentation. During quarantine, the head judges will be setting up or running randomization, and you as a table judge will set it up on your table. What I suggest for this is you split yourselves up. Have one judge that goes to the head judge to view randomization and set up your table. The other judge should stand by the quarantine table and check the robot sizes for your teams. Once you have completed your randomization, or once you've completed your setup for your measuring of the robots, you can then assist other judges and each other doing things. Once all teams are ready, once all tables are ready, the competition for scoring can begin. During scoring, we call all teams up one by one to the table. What will happen is you will call one team up to the actual competition table, the other team to quarantine to find their robot and to start getting ready. You then give them what is called the judge's speech, what I call the judge's speech, and then initiate their scoring run. Once the scoring run is completed, you will score the teams on the actual score sheet, and the team will then sign the score sheet, put their robots back in quarantine, and go and sit down. But I have some more in-depth information for you. So during the practice rounds, teams will line up at your competition table. They're not allowed to go to another table. They must practice on the competition table, which they have been assigned. They're not allowed to move around. They must have their robots with them in the line. So if you see a team that is trying to save a space, they don't have a robot, it's sitting on the programming table, please ask them to go to the back of the line. The rules state in the general rules that teams must have a robot if they're going to be in the line for practice. All programming devices should also remain in the team's workstations. They should not be coming up to the tables with anything. They should be uploading the programs to the robot and then running the program off of the robot as they would during the scoring round. So please notify teams. There will be some who come up to the tables with their programming devices because that's what they've done in their clubs. Let them know they have to keep their programming devices safe and sound in their building areas. When a team's robot stops during practice, so the team will put the robot down, it'll move around the table. Once the robot stops, please give the team a few seconds, then ask them to go to the back of the line. Don't let a team hog the table. A team should not be starting their robot back in the start area 3 or 4 times. They should have one start, unless it's very quick. Then they can put it back. Perhaps they misaligned it at start. They have 1 or 2 goes. Then they have to go to the back of the line. In the rules, we've had this last year, the rules say that the scoring round is 2 minutes. It mentions nothing of practice. So some teams' robots will run for 2 minutes because that's how long it takes them to complete the actual scoring run. When the robot stops, they put it back into, or they take it to the back of the line, and we give another team a chance. We do not want teams to hog all of the tables. Use your discretion during the practice round. Again, if you have a team that is giving you issues, call the head judge and they will step in and assist. And if you're not sure what to do, the head judges are there to assist you. So taking a look at the actual layout of a RoboMission competition. Your venue may be slightly different, but in general, this is how everything should be set up. We have the competition tables 1, 2, and 3. This is where the teams will work for row A. We then have the queuing line. This is the line that teams will line up behind, and their specific competition table. If a team has been assigned A, they should be going to table A. They shouldn't be moving across to table B because they need to calibrate their robots for their table specific conditions. We have 2 competition tables right next to each other and a quarantine table. In some instances, you may be sharing your quarantine table with the table next door. Please make sure you communicate with the judges around you and that you all understand where the robots should be and where they need to be placed. You will have a quarantine sheet, and on this sheet will be written the team's name, and that will be placed on your quarantine table, and that is where the teams need to put their robot. There then should be some kind of physical barrier to separate you from the spectators and coaches. Spectators and coaches are not allowed to cross this line. They're not allowed to communicate over this line with any of the teams, and team members are especially not allowed to go up to this line without a judge being present. If you see a team member go up to this line, even if it's not at your own table, please step in and make sure that nothing funny is going on. Why? We do not want coaches standing in the spectator area to accuse those teams of cheating, even if it was something innocent. This is more likely to happen with our elementary and our junior teams, so please ensure you are watching the barriers. During the quarantine round, so now we've been through practice, during quarantine, teams place their robots in the quarantine table before the timer hits 0. Robots that are late to the table will not be allowed to run. This is an international rule. It's stated within the general rules. So please, when the timer hits about 2 minutes, shout at your teams. Tell them, you guys need to start getting your robots onto the table. If they're not on the table, you will not be allowed to run. Inform them as much as you can. When you hit the last minute, tell them, guys, get your robots to the table. 30 seconds, start a countdown, screaming at them, make sure they're on the table. If a robot arrives late, please use your discretion. If a team is just about to put the robot down on the table, please don't disqualify the team. Let them run. Meanwhile, if they're still in the team area, the timer hits 0 and then they pick the robot up and they start walking towards you, that team will not be allowed to run because they are late. So please watch quarantine. Make sure robots come in and use your discretion. There are instances where we will give some teams some extra time, but it is incredibly rare. Then, during quarantine, our robots are measured and weighed. This is where the 3-minute rule comes in. If a robot does not meet the measurement requirements, it is too large, If it is too heavy, the team is given 3 minutes to make changes so that it fits within the rules. In this instance, a team will pick up their robot from quarantine, go back to their workstation, and you will stand with them as a judge with a timer and time them. As soon as the timer hits 3 minutes, the team must pick their robot up, put it back into quarantine, it gets tested again. Whatever condition the robot is in, that is how it should be run. So if a team has forgotten to put the wheel back onto their robot and they place that into quarantine, unfortunately, that's how the robot should then run. Please use all of these specification sheets. This is a very important thing. It's something that is brand new. Teams should use the spec sheets and use it at your discretion to determine if a weight or weighing is necessary. So during this time, you can have a look at the spec sheets. This is a piece of paper that the teams will be bringing along with them. Some may be filling it in on the day, and it has all of the information about the team's robot. In it will be the weight. If you see a robot that is maybe 1.4 kilos or 1.3 kilos, you might want to weigh it just to make sure that it fits within the rules, because we do not want to have a team go through to nationals and be disqualified at the national final for having a robot that's too large or too heavy. During this time as well, quarantine, the head judges will randomize the elements. They will put these elements either in their pocket or they'll put them into a box and draw them out one by one as per the randomization rules. You as a table judge will then look at the randomization that they've done and make your table exactly the same. All teams will have the same randomization for that scoring round. The second and third scoring rounds, we will run randomization again. So you should have 3 different randomizations on the day of the competition. However, in some cases, very rare, you may have the same randomization appear. Keep it like that because it is how the elements were drawn out. Let's talk about the robot specification sheet. So this is a sheet where we will have a lot of information. Teams should have these robot spec sheets with them. They must hand them to you as a judge, and you should put them with their quarantine sheet. It's also a good way for us to see which teams are in the venue and to give us a quick idea of whether their teams meet the requirements. These again are kept under the quarantine sheets. Teams that do not have these sheets with them should complete a blank copy on the competition day. So please make sure teams have these sheets, that they know how they work, and that they need to fill them in if they haven't already. Let's now talk about the actual scoring process or the procedure. So during the scoring round, the team will be called to the table. They will place their robot down in the start area and start to set it up. Turn it on, make sure it's all ready. During the time, you as a judge will give them what I call the judge's speech. This is where you will tell each team every single time they come to the table for the scoring round, for all 3 scoring rounds, the same speech. Why? It settles them down. It makes them feel quite calm and relaxed, and that you are in control. So the judge's speech goes something like this. Hello, my name is Duncan. Welcome to our table. This is my partner judge, insert name here, and we will be judging you on your table. Please set your robot up in the start area. Make sure everything is inside. Please select your correct program. Make sure the program is right that you are going to run. If it's EV3, it should be the same program. Please then just take your time. Check that the elements are correct on the table. If you see an element that's not right, please tell us and we will fix it. Okay. Then, are you ready? If yes, I can give the countdown, 3, 2, 1, go. When I say go, you can start the robot and my judge will start timing. To tell us to stop timing, you have to touch the robot. So please make sure you touch the robot when you want to indicate that your run is over. You've got a total of 2 minutes in order to complete your run. Are you ready? Great. 3, 2, 1, go. The team then presses the button and their robot starts moving. Again, to indicate that the run is complete, the team must touch their robot. If they don't touch their robot, we keep timing. Once the team's run is over, the robot stays on the table, the elements stay where they are as they were placed. If a team member touches an element during the scoring round, the score is complete, it is done, everything is finished. And if they have tried to attempt to help their robot along, maybe nudge an element into an area, the team will score 0. In this case, call their head judge and they will come in and make a final decision. It does not happen often at these competitions, more likely sometimes at an international final, but definitely not during our provincial events. Then, once a team has had their robot stop, you can then score the table. We only score teams once the robot has stopped moving. And score what you see. Don't score what you think you saw, score what you see on the table and complete the entire score sheet. A team will then sign the score sheet once they have seen their score. Please, while scoring, only work with you and your fellow judge. Don't bring the team in to help you score, and try and score as quickly as possible, because the quicker we score, the quicker we can finish the competition. Teams then sign the score sheet. If they disagree with your score, we call the head judge, and the head judge will have a final say. A team is allowed to disagree with your score. It is a good thing if they do, because they are looking out for their best scoring interests. During this time, the table will be as it was when the robot stopped. Once the team has signed the score sheet or the head judge has made a ruling, the robot then goes back to quarantine and the table is set up for the next team. During the time, the next team, the guys waiting at quarantine, are called in and another team is called up to wait at quarantine, and the entire process begins again. When all teams have been scored, you will then hand the score sheets and what I call the round record sheet to the head judge. You will have 2 sheets. So a team will have their individual score sheet, and you will have a piece of paper with all of your teams on it with blank spaces to write their scores. We'll explain that in a minute or two. You then hand your scores and the little record sheet to your head judge. Only once all 6 teams have been scored on your table. Do not hand one to your judge, even if the head judge asks. I'm telling you now, head judges, table judges, once all 6 teams have been scored, hand them to the head judge. Head judges will then hand the score sheets over to the scorers, and they will start the scoring process. For Robomission, the maximum allowed time for a robot to run is 2 minutes. We ask you to please use your own device to time the teams. So one judge will be watching the robot, the other one will be watching the timer. Use your cell phone. It is the best device to use. Why? Because you know your cell phone better than anybody else, and you should know your timer better than anybody else. We found lots of issues giving teams or judges timers because either they don't stop it on time, they don't know how it works, they lose the information. So please use your own cell phone. And if you want to look out for the best interests of the team, you are both welcome to time the team at the same time. Remember, you start timing when the judge says go. How it works, a team will run their robot. Your timer starts on 0. Time will start counting up. When you reach the 1 minute mark, you tell the team 1 minute left. When you reach the 1 minute 30 second mark, you say 30 seconds left. Then 20 seconds left, 10 seconds, give them a countdown, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Not like that, please. Please stick with what the time is. And when you hit 1 or 0, tell the team stop the robot, and they will stop it dead. They have to stop it dead, and you will score everything during that time. Robots are only allowed to run for a maximum of 2 minutes, nothing more. So taking a look at the score sheet, please note that there will be some pieces which are either or conditions. In this case, you do not score both. So for example, for junior, we have the drone. It can be completely in the start area, but if it's completely in the start area, it's technically also touching the start area. So we only give points for one of those conditions, the one that is the most Correct. In this case, you will score the 10 points for it being completely in the start area, if it is, and 0 if for the touching, because touching means it's not completely inside. Okay. Record everything. So if a team has not achieved something, put the score as 0. This helps us to check the score sheets at the end, because if we see something where there's a blank space, it means that the team may have scored those points or may have not. By putting the 0, we definitely know that there was nothing scored for those teams. Keep an eye on the bonus points. Bonus points are always awarded to teams unless the conditions are not met. When the robot is placed in the start area, the team will automatically score the bonus points. But remember, we only score once the time is up or the robot has stopped. So what we'll do is, when everything is done, give the teams the bonus points for the things that are not scored. If a team only scores bonus points, so the only thing they've done is get the actual bonus points, they receive a time of 2 minutes. We don't give them the bonus points and a time because it's not a race to 0. We want teams to score other points as well. Then we record the time as well as the score. So when you calculate the score, please feel free to use a calculator if you want to make sure. Some of these are tricky to score, especially if you don't like mathematics. So please make sure that you're looking out for the best interests of the team and you score using some device, especially if you're feeling not too great at adding things up. Rather be safe than sorry. Then we're going to record the time. We record the time in full minutes and seconds. So there I have an example of 1 minute and 15 seconds. We completely ignore the split seconds. These do not exist. Do not round up, do not round down. Just use the full seconds and the time, the minute. So taking a look now at the record sheet. This is that little piece of paper that you'll be given for each scoring round for all 6 of your teams. This is an extra check that we have in place. What you do is, once all 6 of your teams have been scored, you then complete the sheet as neatly as possible. You write in the score that they received and the time. The reason for this is because we know that as you are scoring, because of time constraints, you want to score quickly and you are adding things up, and there's lots of things that come onto the score sheet. So make sure you take your time when you fill in the record sheet, because this is what we will use to input scores into the scoring system. If we notice a discrepancy on here, we check the score sheets. It is also a good way to indicate if a team is not in the venue. So we'll get there, but please write neatly. Please make sure you use the team ID. It's the easiest way to identify which team is which, and you complete all of the information. For a team that scored only the bonus points, you will write down the points that they scored plus the 2-minute maximum time. We then, if a team has not arrived in the venue, they didn't arrive at the start, during that scoring round, you put a line straight through their name on this sheet so that we know very easily that this team is not here. You also write "not here" on the score sheet, and please hand that score sheet in as well. It is a way that we can check that teams are actually not there and that we haven't actually lost the team's score sheet. So now let's take a look at the actual junior challenge. So what the challenge is, what the kids should be programming their robots to do. So the first thing is, in the general rules, there are some specific things for each age group. We have the robot specification sheet, and on this is where the teams will write all of their information. Robots now in RoboMission can be built out of any material, have as many controllers as they like. They can even mix Lego with Arduino. They can do anything, 3D print elements, anything is possible. There is no limit to the number of controllers as long as nothing is remote controlled. With controllers and with the elements or the controls of the robot, they are not allowed to communicate with each other via Bluetooth or Wi-Fi. Everything has to be wired on the actual robot itself. Then for junior, There is no limit to the number of sensors. However, Junior is allowed to use the camera. They are not allowed to use LiDAR and 3D scanners. This is limited to our seniors. And they are allowed to have a maximum of 5 motors on their robot. No more than 5, and they are not limited to the number of sensors. Again, maximum time allowed for a competition run is 2 minutes. Teams must touch the robot to indicate that they have finished. Please tell a team, touch your robot, touch your robot, touch your robot. Keep informing them during practice. Remember, guys, you need to touch your robot to indicate to us that you have finished your scoring run. So some clarifications on some of the rules and how it should be judged. So the robot starting area, when a team is placing their robot down, it needs to be only inside of the white area. This includes the robot cables. No pieces should be overhanging the surrounding border. If you notice teams during practice that have these robots that are overhanging the areas, please tell them that their robot must fit inside of the start area. If it doesn't, they will not be allowed to start their robot. So the in or out rule. So completely inside means that every single piece of the element is touching only the scoring area. No piece of the element is touching outside of the scoring area, even by a millimeter. Here's an example for you. This piece is outside of the area by a millimeter, so the team will not score full points for this element. Taking a look at the research samples. All parts of the research sample should be inside of the colored area in order for the points to be given. It is not the gray square, it is that yellow area. In this instance, part of this element is outside of the scoring area. Teams will not score full points, they will score only the 10 points, those partial points. Even though it is the correct color, it's not completely inside. Taking a look in this scenario, if a team places more than one research sample inside of the scoring area, we will award points for only one sample, and it will be the sample that is worth the most. So in this case here, we have the yellow sample completely inside the yellow area, the red sample completely inside the yellow area. This team will receive the full points for the yellow sample and 0 for the red sample, because we score only one sample per scoring area. The solar panel. This is a very good question that I've received a few times. So the solar panel that is going to be up, the one that the team needs to put down to receive points, is the one that is closest to the start area. It is the one that is facing the line. This is the one that will always be up. This is not a randomized element. So the solar panel closest to the start area will always be the one that starts up. The other panel will be down. Now, if a team thinks that they're clever and they lift the one at the back up and they put the one in the front down, if any of these panels are upright, the team will not score any points for the rover. Both panels must be completely flat. They must be unfolded and down. Taking a look at the water tanks. So the water tanks, those blue balls, have to be inside of their container box. So in this scenario here, we've got one ball completely inside, one that is sitting on the little lever, in which case teams will only score points for the ball that is inside and nothing for the ball outside. The same in this scenario. Here we've got one ball completely inside and one that is not inside of the box. It's resting on the lip or the edge of the box, in which case they score 0 for this one and full points for the other. And we have this scenario as well. The team's robot has placed one of the water tanks on top of the box. It's not inside. So this element will score 0. Meanwhile, the one that's nice and safe inside will score full points. Taking a look at our bonus points, we have the rock positions, the 6 rock elements, as well as the 2 barriers. These will always be awarded when the robot has stopped. They must not be moved or damaged. This is the condition in which they will receive those points. If they have been moved or damaged, the team will not score any points. But looking a little bit deeper, for the rocks, the element must not touch the mat outside of its gray area. So in this image here, you can see that the rock has been moved off of its black starting position. It's still inside of the gray area. It's not touching outside. The team will score points for this rock. They will not score 0. Having a look at the barrier. Now, this is a tricky one because these positions on the mat are quite tight and difficult to place. So please use your discretion here when you are judging. If you did not place the element correctly at the start, please keep that in mind and always bias your decision towards the best possible outcome for the team. So for these barrier elements, the element must not touch the outside of their black starting area. They should not be moved at all. If you notice that the element is bumped or moved and it is no longer touching only its black area, they will score 0 for that element. Please again use your discretion. Take note of how the element started. So if you see a little bit of a black line and it started like that, don't go and penalize the team for it. Then for the robot finished, all parts of the robot that are touching the game mat should be inside of the white scoring area, that white finish area. So in this case here, we have a robot with a very long, strange arm that's sticking outside. This robot will score full points because no part of this robot is touching outside of the scoring area. It's projecting outside, but it's not touching the game mat outside of this area. In this instance, however, this robot's little arm has dropped. It's touching the game mat, and here the robot will score 0 for finishing because part of it is touching outside of the area. Now, if a robot is to leave an element on the table, perhaps let's say that a team made a sled that they put all of their wonderful pieces in, and it got left on the game mat somewhere, that piece is no longer part of the robot. If the robot is completely inside of the area, we completely ignore that piece. It's called a free element, and we base what we see around the actual brain of the robot. As well with that, a team can't go and place a random small piece in that scoring area and say that that counts for their robot being completely in. No, wherever the controller or brain is, that is considered the robot. So what to expect at a WRO event? So if you've never been to one, here is something you can expect as a judge. So you will be wearing a very stylish judge's bib. We had some new ones printed last year, I believe. They're really, really colorful, really cool. You may be even luckier and get the old ones, which are some beautiful mustard and red tomato sauce kind of colored, beautiful bibs. You'll be assigned one of these. You'll need to wear it for the duration of the competition. This is how we can identify you as a judge and make sure that you are in the correct place. You will be standing quite a bit, so please wear something comfortable. Please make sure you are comfortable, and please try not wear something that identifies you with another school. Try and wear something that is completely neutral. You will be nervous, especially if it's your first time. If you're like me and you've been doing this for a long time, you still get nervous. There's nothing wrong with it. However, you will quickly forget that and you will start to enjoy your day. You will be quite active and busy during the scoring rounds, during the first scoring round and first practice round. After that, teams tend to know what they are doing, in which case you will not be as busy as you were in the first round. You will have a favorite team on your table. Now, this will be a team that is perhaps not the best. Maybe it's a team that has shown a lot of courage. They have been trying as hard as they can, and you like their attitude. It could be a team that just has a fun personality. They're telling jokes all the time. Anything. You should have a favorite team at the end of the day. I like to find out about your favorite teams because if you have a favorite team, it tells me that you have been interacting with the teams and you have not only been judging them, but you've been helping them along the way and enjoying their company. and you will have far more fun than you actually think. It is a really great experience seeing all of the robot designs, seeing how these kids overcome challenges, and getting in some communication with the other judges around you, getting in some of the great network, and speaking to people who are like-minded. You can then join for the judges' lunch. For our RoboMission judges, we supply a lunch for you. So please come through and have a lunch. This is for competitions that happen on a Saturday. So if you are an Explorer judge and you are there on the Saturday, you should also receive your judges' lunch. You are welcome to grab your lunch pack and then run out of the venue and go and talk to your teams during the lunch break. You do not have to stay in the judge's room. However, it is a good opportunity to go and sit down and relax away from coaches and spectators. It is also an opportunity for head judges to come in and give you an update on rules, to give you a bit of a pep talk, to let you know how you're doing, and to just see how the actual mood is as judging, and for you to maybe ask some funny questions. It's a little bit of judging admin. So judging is completely voluntary. Everything is at our own expenses, judges, except for the judge's lunch. There you will get that happily. Please, no judges are paid to be a judge, even at the international final. That's right. If you want to go through to the international final, you have to pay in order to judge. It sounds very weird, but that's just how it rolls. Remember that judges are generally people with a love for the World Robot Olympiad, robotics, coding, or both. So please understand the people you are judging with have a like-minded idea as you, and we want to work together as one big happy family. If you are interested in judging internationally, in South Africa, we pride ourselves on having very competent, fair, and professional judges. We maintain a very high standard for the international community, and South African judges are prized at the international because we run through such quite a good program, and we know that our judges are some of the best out there. With that said, South African judges are normally placed on some of the most difficult tables to judge. So please, if you're coming through to the international, you may have some trouble teams that you may be judging. We often send the most number of judges out of any country in the world to the international final because we have a lot of people who enjoy the experience and want to get more. So if you are interested in judging internationally, there's a few things that you have to do. You need to build up your judging experience. So you need to have attended the provincial events and judged at one or more provincial events, maybe over a few years. You need to have judged at the national final for that year of competition. This is where we then make sure that you are a good enough judge and we can put your names forward. In order for us to know that you want to judge, you need to let us know via email after the national final or before the national final. Once we receive this email, we then add your name to a list and we send WRO International during October or August, October, all of your details as well as your experience. The judges with the most experience are normally the ones that are selected, but we do say we want this judge to go through or this person to go through as well. And for this year in Singapore, I believe they do need quite a few judges as they don't have a big volunteer group. So please, if you are thinking about wanting to travel to the lovely country of Singapore for a few days and enjoy 3 days of hardcore WRO competition, let us know and come on through. Then some contact details. If you have any questions as a judge or as a coach, please email wro@handsontech.co.za. I try my best to answer as everything that I get as quickly as I can, but currently I am busy preparing all of the competitions, so I do apologize if I've been a bit slow in my communication. But please, if you have any questions about WRO, the easiest way to get an answer, email wro@handsontech. There are at least 2 or 3 people watching it all the time, and we try to answer as quickly as possible. If you haven't yet, and you are a coach or you're interested in WRO, please join our mailing list. This we stay up to date with everything WRO, any rule updates, upcoming webinars, information sessions, everything happens through the mailing list. You are guaranteed to receive the up-to-date information. And now we get to the part that everybody waits for, and this is the Q&A. So I've been talking for quite a lot of time, so now it is your turn. I am going to activate your microphones. You are more than welcome to type into the chat, to type into the Q&A, or unmute and ask your question. I'll try my best to answer it. While we're waiting there, I do see that we have a question from Jeanette that during practice rounds, are teams allowed to have a notebook or pencil measuring tape with them? The answer to that is yes. Teams may have a notebook as long as it is blank. There is nothing written inside of it at the start of the competition. If a team has a note or notepad, please, if you're a coach, let the teams know, or let the teams tell the judges that they have it. It should be out on the table. Judges must check it. Teams may have a copy of the rules as well as the building guides and the general rules. So they are allowed all of that information. So they can have measuring tapes. Why? Because we are no longer using Lego. Teams are allowed to measure the different things on the table. They're allowed to have pencils and pens with them as long as they are writing only in their notebooks. They may bring these physical notebooks. I'm talking about pen and paper here, not an electronic notebook, something that they can write in and get their information. Any other questions that may be in your heads right now? Remember, if you don't want to ask me now, you are more than welcome to send me an email later. So for the drone, if the blue base block is in the start area and the white part, the drone arms are overhanging the outside, is this partially in? So for the drone, if the drone is the parts that are touching the game mat are only touching the scoring area, they will receive full points. We base it on what is touching the game mat. Is an external battery source permitted to power external sensors? Yes, teams may have as many battery sources as they like, as long as all of those elements are connected to the main brick or controllers. The black blocks in the parking area, what is considered as moved? So these bricks should not be moving. If those bricks are moved, nothing happens. Teams do not get any points for them. They do not score any points for them. It just means that we may have to be sticking things back down. They should be stuck down already with double-sided tape, and nothing will happen if these elements are moved. Will the mat positioning be checked before the event? We do try to check all of the mats before the event. However, there is a wonderful rule, 5.6.7, I believe, which states that mats are placed as they are on the day and teams need to deal with whatever is there. There may be sunlight, there may be bubbles. Teams need to adjust their robots for the condition. We are not running in perfect lab conditions. You will never run a robot in perfect lab conditions because environments change. So please make sure teams and coaches are aware of this. It does say in the coach's invitation, it makes special reference to this rule that they must just make sure that the mats are as they are on the day and teams must deal with this. If there is a major issue, however, head judges, if you notice something, and table judges, if you notice something funny about your mat, let the head judges know. They will make a decision. Are teams allowed to be on their phones? Very good question. The answer is they should not be touching a phone at all during the competition. The best thing is to lock it away somewhere. It should be off. Any team found with a phone may be disqualified because there should be no outside communication. So no phones should be within the competition area, and teams should definitely not be using phones, even to take a video of their robot. I do see we have a question. You are welcome to ask.
Hello, Hi, Duncan.
Yes.
Sorry, I just wanted to ask. Some learners use iPads as their programming devices. In this case, are we limiting connectivity? So, in this, let's say a learner instead uses a phone as their programming device. Are we limiting connectivity, or we just don't want cell phones?
The rules specifically say that no cell phones are allowed in the area. So
But
it is within the actual general rules. So if they're using an iPad, that is something completely different. iPads and tablets are allowed. And if a team is running off of a device where it's using Bluetooth, the team should quarantine their programming device with their robot if they would like to run the program off of their device. Just
All right,
as a
thank you.
hint for anybody doing that. Thank you very much, everybody. Have a wonderful evening. And